Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Jessica Ward King, the Stigmacrusher here. Happy World Bipolar Day. It is World Bipolar Day on March 30th, and today we are going to do a video all about bipolar disorder. And actually, this is a video that was suggested by one of my subscribers, Rooted in Recovery. Thank you for the suggestion. All about those thoughts and decisions that we make when we are in an episode, either manic or depressed, and that we wonder whether they're really ours or whether they're due to the disorder and what that means, and then how those decisions change things. So what do I mean by this? An experience that is fairly common to the experience of people with bipolar disorder is when you are in a manic state making poor decisions about sexual relationships or sexual experiences. So it's very, very common. It's in fact one of the symptoms that is mentioned when we talk about bipolar mania, is having, making decisions about sexual encounters. And so that can mean making decisions about having relationships or even just encounters outside of one's primary relationship, so essentially cheating on a partner. Or that can mean making decisions that are risky to one's sexual health, so they could have knock-on consequences for one's sexual health. Or they could be risky in a variety of other ways. And that experience is very common amongst the population of people with bipolar disorder, and it's difficult to disentangle when you are in the manic state whether that decision is your decision or not. It feels, when you are manic, I shouldn't say you, I should say I. When I am manic, it feels like it is me but better kind of thing. My decision but better. So it feels like it's free. It's like it's almost like a hippie kind of mentality. It's like, yo man, this is me but freer. And those decisions can be made, and they're just like, yeah, it's just like let it happen. Like, just let it go. And so when I'm in the midst of a manic episode, those kinds of decisions seem like my decision, like I'm in control of the decision. When I'm done with the manic episode and I'm now euthymic, so normal mood, or I'm like my episode is over, I look back on that and I think, that's not a decision I would have made. That's not, because when I'm in remission, when I'm euthymic, that seems to me to be the core me. And that's one of the problems with bipolar disorder. I think a lot of people describe it as feeling like you're different people when you're manic versus when you're depressed versus when you're euthymic, so normal mood. And I have had that experience as well, feeling like I'm different people. I tried to reframe it to think that no, I'm the same person, right? Just having brain symptoms that make my decision making and thinking and feeling different, but I am the same person. And that helps me to kind of normalize thinking about my behaviors kind of along a continuum rather than disjointed and as though the bipolar is making me feel like I'm separate people. I don't know, for some reason it helped me to be able to take ownership of my behavior a little bit better. But it is really difficult, because if I was just behaving badly and I felt like me and it was my decision, then I could say, well, that was just a bad decision that I made. But when it comes to like, oh, I wasn't me making that decision, that was an altered state, that was a different me, that was a different person, however you want to call it, it's really difficult to take ownership of that decision and to say, yes, I made that decision, I did that thing. and to try to move on from whatever consequences come out of that, because I mean inevitably consequences come out of making these kinds of monumental decisions, to cheat on a partner, to have, you know, sexual health consequences, to, it could be other things too. It's not only sex, it could be you know, choosing to make financial decisions, because when you're walking around as a person with mania or a person with depression, there's no sanctions on you, right? Like you can sign for financial decisions, you can sign checks, you can sign, you know, you can Venmo things, you can invest things, you can do all the things. There's nobody stopping you. You do make decisions that are like you when you're in a depressive or a manic state. Like you choose your brand of cereal in the morning. You can parent and make the decisions that you would normally make. Like you can make good decisions. You can make relationship decisions that are good or normal for you. And so that makes it even more difficult, because you can make these normal decisions, and then you go and make something that's so out of character for you. But it's difficult to say, even, is it out of character because this is something now that apparently I do because I have bipolar, and this is going to recur, this is going to keep happening, and apparently this is a thing that I do now. And you start to incorporate it into your person, and it gets very messy and very, very difficult. So that can be really challenging to deal with when you're dealing with these decisions made or feelings had during an episode that are not like you. And then you can change relationships as a result of them. And that has knock-on effects. So I'll give you an example. When this was a while ago before my wife, but in a very deep depressive episode, I had decided that the person that I was with in a relationship, that I should let them go, that, you know, I felt guilty and I felt ashamed, and that I didn't deserve them, I didn't deserve love, I could never be happy anyway, so they could never make me happy, and I could never make them happy, and they were just wasting their time with me. And so I sabotaged the relationships so that they would leave. I didn't have enough self-esteem or confidence to actually dump them, but I just sabotaged the relationship to make them leave, which they did. And then a few months later, because I thought I was going to be depressed forever. I mean, I was a couple of years into a depressive episode, so I thought this was going to last forever. And then it was very ironically several months later that my depressive episode lifted, and I looked back on that decision, and I'm like, that is not a decision that a rational person, that a person that's euthymic would make. That was depression telling me what to do. So it's not just mania. And I mean, what can you do about this? One thing that I do is I have my rational self as a separate human being. So I'll give you another example. I'm supposed to go and make a new friend in the coming weeks. And my depressive brain, I'm in a severe depressive episode. You can't tell, it's my mask, I know, it's lovely. But I'm in a depressive episode, and it is telling me, no, I do not want to go. I do not want to make any new friends. I just want to lay on the couch wrapped in a cocoon. I don't want to put the energy out there. I don't want to put on the mask for the people. I don't want to, you know, go and try to be pleasant and make conversation. I don't want to go. And but my wife and I have spoken about this, that, you know, that my decision making is not where it needs to be, and I'm making decisions based on my depression. And so we decided that she should alert me to this and help me make better decisions. And so she heard me say this. I was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And she was like, oh, okay, I see you, depression. I think we should go. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to go, and here's all the reasons. And she's like, yeah, I hear you, but we're going to go. We're just going to go. And I'm like, eek. But I can hear the rationality. This is my rational brain. This is what I would say to myself if I were euthymic, if I were normal mood. I would say social experiences, social contact is good for mental health. Having a good friend network is good for support. So going and making a new friend, going and having that social contact is good for my mental health now, and it's good for social supports later, and this is a good thing to do. And so that is what I would say to myself. That is what my wife is saying to me. She is doing the job of my rational brain and helping me. Rather than, we have a trusting mutual trust and love. So she's not saying to me, you will go and I will make you. I mean, I could very well just not get in the car. But we have, we talk about it. And I've been telling her my fears and, what I'm afraid is going to happen as a result of my depression. And she's like, okay, well, if that happens, then you can always just go head out in the bathroom for a little bit and breathe for a little bit, and if it's really bad, you can just tap me on the shoulder and we'll go in another room and we can talk about it. And if it's really bad, we can always just leave if we need to, and we would kind of talk through all the solutions. So maybe having someone, a loved one, a family member, a friend, a therapist that can do that rational brain situation might be helpful to you. It's being helpful to me. It has to be someone who's not manipulative and not, that is looking out for your greater good. But again, I'm no therapist. Talk to your mental health professional before you initiate any different things in your life. But that is something that is being helpful to me in being able to make some better decisions as a result of me being in an episode that is making me not make those good decisions. So there are no solutions to this problem, because the feeling of being different people, making different decisions, having different views, making different relationship decisions and having the consequences play out when you are in a depressive or a manic episode. I mean, this is real. This is how bipolar works. This is how it wreaks havoc on lives. And there's no great solution to this, unfortunately, other than, finding the solutions that work for you, like one that has been helpful to me. But there are no great solutions, because this is simply the experience of being with a disease like bipolar. It is helpful as well to talk about it, and so being able to share with other people that are experiencing bipolar is really, really valuable and really helpful. But other than that, it really is just doing your best to check yourself, make those decisions as wisely as you can, before you make a decision that is going to have consequences, to take a moment to think about it, to write down pros and cons. These things are easier said than done, because especially when you are in a manic episode, you're making decisions very quickly, very without thought, without reflection. And that's what I'm asking you to do, is reflect. So I know this, I've been manic before. This is easier said than done. That's why having someone external to you is really helpful. But I hope that this video of me kind of reflecting on my experience of this paradox that we has been somewhat helpful to you. If you have this experience and have a way that you've dealt with it, that that you think might be helpful to other people, please do post it in the comments down below, because like I say, sharing is really helpful to other people and to yourself. And other than that, have a happy World Bipolar Day, and I will see you in my next one. Take care. Bye.
Stigmacrusher.